All right, boys and girls, today we're going to be working on math lesson 6.2. Yesterday we were working with doing some adding three-digit numbers and using quick pictures. Today we're going to be doing it a little bit differently. But we're going to start with a warm-up problem. And so for today, our number of the day is going to be 31. So you're going to want your whiteboard to practice these. And so what we're going to do is we're going to practice adding different numbers to 31. So the first number I want you to add to 31 is 4. I want you to add 4 to 31. So what you might do on your whiteboard is rewrite it 31 plus 4. And so go ahead and pause your video. Let's see what you come up with. All right, so here's what I did. 31 plus 4. I added my 1s, right? 5, bring my 3 down. 35. Or you could just count up 4 hops, which is probably the easier way to do it. Okay, this time I want you to add 8. I want you to add 8 to 31. So you're going to want to rewrite the problem, right? 31 plus 8. So 31 plus 8. Go ahead and pause your video and solve that one. And so in the case of this one, should have come up with 39. All right, now let's add 20. Let's add 20 to 31. So go ahead and pause your video whenever you're ready, and you're going to want to rewrite your problem, and we're going to add 20 to 31. All right, so for this one, we'll add our 1s, add our 10s, we get 51, or you could just count up, right? 31, 41, 51, right? Counting up by 10s. All right, let's erase this one. Let's do one more. Let's add 45 to 31 this time. 45 to 31. So rewrite it, 31 plus 45 equal bar, and then go ahead and solve it. Pause your video and solve it. Okay, so here's what I came up with. Add my 1s, add my 10s. I got 76. All right, now that we're warmed up, let's talk math. So today, our essential question is, how do you break apart add-ins to add hundreds, tens, and then ones? Okay, so let's find out. So on your listen and draw page, it says, write the number, draw a quick picture for the number, then write the number in different ways. So I'm going to give you the number. So the first one I want you to do is 258. So here you're going to draw me a quick picture. Then you're going to write the number. How many hundreds, how many tens, how many ones. And then you're going to write it here. What is the value of the hundreds? What is the value of the number in the tens place? And what is the value of the number in the ones place? So go ahead and pause your video and do 258. Break it apart for me. All right, so here's what you should have come up with. 258. So 258 is 2 hundreds, 5 tens, and 8 ones. Like that. Okay, and then we could write it over here. 2 hundreds, 5 tens, 8 ones. And then the value of those numbers, 200 plus 50 plus 8. All right, now I want you to do the same thing with the number 325. Go ahead and pause your video and do 325. Okay, so let's see. Same thing, we're going to draw a quick picture. And then we're going to write it out. And then we're going to write the value of those numbers. Just like that. All right, nice job. Now let's check out the model and draw. Let's figure out what is it that they're trying to teach us. What is it that they're trying to teach us? So make this bigger. It says break apart the add-ins into hundreds, tens, and ones. Add the hundreds, the tens, and the ones, then find the total sum. So if we want to add 538 plus 216, we got to break these numbers apart, right? So just like we did in the last problem, 538 is 500 plus 30 plus 8. And 216 is 200 plus 10 plus 6, right? And so we add these up. We add the hundreds. 500 plus 200 gives me 700. And then 30 plus 10 gives me 40. And then 8 plus 6 is going to give me 14, right? And so then we add all of this back together. So I'm going to start with this, 40 plus 14, right? Because this is supposed to just be ones, but there's a 10 and a 1. So this 10 is going to go over here. This gives me 50 now, and this gives me 4. So 54. And then I write my number in the hundreds place, which is going to be 700. So 754. So you're going to do that for these next 3 problems, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so go ahead and pause your video, and you're going to do the same thing with 1, 2, and 3, just like you did with the model and draw. So your problem for number 1 is going to look just like the model and draw when it's all filled out, and then you're going to have your total here. So go ahead and do number 1, 2, and 3. All right, so I went ahead and I filled in the values of the numbers. I didn't add them up, but I just wanted to save some time with the video. But now I'm going to add them up. So add my hundreds. This is going to be 700. And this is going to be 50 plus 20, so that's 70. And then the last one, my ones, 1 plus 7 equals 8. Then I put all this together, and it's going to give me 778. And so for my next one, this is going to be 800. And this is going to be another 100. So that's going to be 900 now. And this is going to be 6. So that tells me this is going to be 906. Okay, our last one, number 3. For the hundreds, I'm going to get 700. And that's going to give me 80. And 4 and 6 is going to give me another 10. So it's 80 and 10 is 90. So I get 790. No ones. Okay, check and make sure yours looks just the same as mine. I'm going to go ahead and change the size and go to the next page. Right here. So now I want you to do the same thing for 4, 5, and 6. Go ahead and pause your video, do the same thing, solve for 4, 5, and 6. All right, so I did the same thing. I went ahead and wrote the value of the numbers. And so now I'm going to go back and add them up and see if mine match yours. So this is going to be 800. This is going to be 80. And this is going to be 12. So that's a 10 and a 2. So 800, and then we said we have another 10, so that's 90. And then there's 2 ones left, so 2. So 892. For the next one, for the hundreds, we get 600. 20 and 30 is going to give you 50. And then 5 and 2 is 7. So 657. So no regrouping on that one. Then our last one, we get 800 plus 100 is going to give me 900. And then 40 and 20 is 60. And then 9 and 3 is going to be 12. So that's a 10 and a 2. So that's going to give me 70 here and then just 2. So 972. Oops, because we had to regroup. $972. All right, let's go to the next page. And so I want to look at this Think Smarter problem like we always do. And so it says there are 376 children at one school. There are 316 children at another school. How many children are at the 2 schools? So we got to find out the total number of kids at the 2 schools. So 376 plus 316. And so they've already broken down those numbers for you into their values. And it says select one number from each column to solve the problem. So if you take this and you put everything together, how many hundreds do you get? How many tens will you get? How many ones? So go ahead and pause your video and see if you can figure it out on your own first. All right, so what I decided to do is I decided to just kind of solve the problem over here first, right? So that's going to give me 600, and then 80, and then 12, right? And so I know this 12 is actually a 10 and a 2. So I'm going to put the 10 over here. That's going to give me 90. And then I'm going to leave the 2 ones. So 600 plus 90 plus 2, right? So 600 is 6 hundreds. 90 is 9 tens, right? And then 2 is 2 ones. Just like that. Okay. All right, now for your homework pages. You're going to do page 401, 401, and just some of the more of the same kind of problems we've already been doing, a couple story problems. You draw me a quick picture for that problem. And then the back page 402, which is review. All right, good luck with those.